Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Once again, this is a review about the die-cast model that I like to collect because of the scale, because being in 1/24 scale, when it is something interesting, even if toys, even if bricks, even if piece of mud, I like to collect them because it's anyway interesting, you know. 1/24 scale, I like to have the car that I love. And this is very interesting because I didn't know neither that she existed, you know. And it is a Porsche, they call it 911 RSR, in reality it's a 991 RSR, so it's the Le Mans car used by Porsche. In the official livery, you know, it misses a lot of sponsored extra decal, nearly surely for copyrights reason, and it's always interesting because they are proposed by Burago, this Burago, quite famous, you know, but it is not the Burago that you think. So it is not the original Burago company from Burago Molgora. Burago is the name of a little city in the eastern side of Milan, not so far from where I have a department in Italy, my house in Italy, you know, and so the company took the name from the location where they had the facility to produce the car, and they were completely Italian, since that this newer Burago just keep the name of Burago that was so famous in the 70s and in the 80s, but it is not at all Italian any longer. So it's a complete Chinese company just using the name, the brand, and the fama that they created back in time, you know. This was a kind of unicorn because I was just lurking around their catalog and I just crossed the kind of new items I think they made the last year in 2021 about this 991. For me, the 991 was an excellent and lovely car. You remember in my previous video that it's in seven, I think 8, even more years, you know. I made in the beginning my very own 991 RSR, I think from 2013 car racing at Le Mans, and it was completely it was a die-cast main body, just the roof remained of that die-cast, and then I made all the wilderness and the extra details by my own. You know, it was a very interesting car. I think not because I made it, but the proportions are a little better done in what I did. Maybe the car was indeed different, you know, from this 991. And of course, we are talking of different level of model. That 991 that I made was also lately made by Fola, my friend from Slot Fabric, as a slot car body made in carbon fiber, as well as from, I think, Profile 24 made it in 24 scale as a racing kit, but the prices, you know, they are kit, so stuff that you have to assemble by your own, and the price was 10 times more than this one. This is an item that you can find around 20 euros, something like that, so it's absolutely worth it, the money that they ask for it, you know. It was interesting, it is interesting, because anyway the main part, it seems like a kind of aborted production from Alpha Model, from you know, Hobby Design, because the items is similar to what they do, you know. So you have a quite nicely well done main body, here made in die cast, but you know, when you prepare the mold, you usually make a 3D master and then you make a cast of it, and the cast can be, the casting part can be in resin when it is proposed for our kind of modeling, so modelers and people that assemble them, or otherwise you make them in die cast, and they became much more suitable for the finishing of the die cast. This is all stuff that is always have been painted with very thick paint, so thick that of course all the minor details like the lines, the panel lines and so on are completely eaten by the thickness of the paint, and over this usually they place another coat that is a protective coat to make it playable, you know, when kids play mama 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 bam bam, and so have to be kind of protected. Of course, the negative part of these models is that you nearly never have proper details like net are never made in photo etched part, it's just plastic. And in other models that we will see forward, they are neither made in plastic, they are just painted in black. So it's absolutely many say kind of unacceptable, but it is not unacceptable. I mean, when you take something that is like this, you basically take a mock-up of the model. You know, it's just a line, it's just the shape, it's just to have it, and for 20 bucks it's okay. I think it's no problem with what they ask for, you know. I remember that I wanted to do the same for the Lotus Elise S1, the first Elise, the one with the round front light, but just a mock-up like this, unpainted, was completely bare in metal. It was a prototype that probably Matchbox should make in the late 90s, you know, when the real car was available. And they asked me something like $500, you know, just to have just this block of metal. So if I can have the same stuff for 20 euros, finished and painted and with wheels, so you know, you also have wheels, and the wheels indeed are neither so badly done because the rim is anyway correct. Inside there is a brake. I don't know if you can see from the video, I don't think so, but anyway there is the brake, there is the clips painted in a different color, there is the detail inside, you know, so it's not so bad. You get the body, you get the shape of interior, it's like the beginning of a kit, you know. Then of course if you take a proper modeler or some professionals to finish it, this became a stunning model. You know, if you had photo etched parts and so on, this became a masterpiece, you know, but you have to change a lot. So the idea should always be, if you have the time to do it, to take it, strip it down completely, an assembly, and replace all the parts with your own part. Then it became a pretty decent model, you know. In some areas like this one, you know, where there is the cap filler, this is the cap filler that they use in different configuration. For example, in Le Mans it's just in one side, in some American IMSA race they have in both the sides, so it depends. It's just the double duct from the fuel refueling, you know. But of course in one side there is a pretty decent detail of plastic part with a little decal over, and in the other side there is absolutely nothing. So, and also the paint is not so precise. Remember, if you pay something online, 20 euros we said, it means that the guy that is selling this to you paid 10 euros, and the guy that sold to this other guy paid 5 euros, and the producer in the beginning take $1 for this stuff. So how can you pretend something more for this level of stuff? You know, it's absolutely okay. So that's why I like to take them as I can. As soon as I can, I buy them at once, you know, because when I see that they really made the RSR, remember that for this model I said I made one by my own. I took another one from Fall as exchange of one of my bodies of the 997 GT3, and it was a nightmare anyway to finish them. So, and it was the pink pig car, the green pink pig that won Le Mans some years ago, you know. So as, of course, if I have the possibility, and more, sorry, forget to mention it, I have also the profile kit, and I also have the scale auto body kit for this 991. So I have 4 or 5 more to be done. Then of course if you find something like this already done, already, just to have a shape more, you know that I love Porsche, even more this type of Porsche, so aggressive, so racy stuff and so on. I take them at once, you know, I take absolutely them at once, and it's my tip for you, if you like them, to take them too, because anyway the main shape is taken. Yeah, there is minor details, there is some stuff that can be adjusted, there is a very lack of fine details, you know, the handle is nearly melted inside the door, also because probably the master in the beginning don't have this part so well done, and became even more melted with the rest of the body when it is painted and glossy and whatever, you know. But once again, always remember what you pay and what you can expect from what you pay. So it's okay, it's absolutely okay. That's it. I remember that I was so surprised when I found them, even more when she arrived, and the look, you know, if you look them from far away, is absolutely taken. It looked that way, and I'm also happy because placing this near to my other models, the one that I made, of course they are much more detailed, there is much more blood in the building of that model, but the dimension and the shape and the proportion is well taken. So this is surely made by 3D and computer. The other one is made by this ugly Italian fat ants. So we are not so far away from the computer level, so it's okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.